friends, Sean Pierce Johnson here, and welcome to this week's episode of Stompbox Saturday, where we are taking a look at a pedal hot and fresh out the kitchen. It is the Keeley Electronics DDR. No, it's not the Dance Dance Revolution pedal. It stands for something completely different: drive, delay, and reverb. Keeley is sort of promoting this as their gig-ready pedal, and if you ask me, I think that's a fantastic way of looking at it. This pedal combines three different effects in a dual pedal platform that you can put on just about any kind of pedal board that you want to build, from large to small, and it really does provide you with the essentials of getting through just about any gig that you could possibly imagine. So let's dive into the features, talk a bit about the controls by throwing the pedal up on the screen and diving into the details. As you can see, we have a form factor that's very similar to the D&M Drive and the Aria that we've looked at previously. A dual pedal with two sides, left and right, each with three knobs. Now, let's start by looking at the drive, which is going to be on the right-hand side of the pedal. You have controls for level, drive, and tone. And then underneath, you have a toggle switch labeled style. Now, essentially what this does is it changes the way that the overdrive character behaves. With the left position of the toggle switch, you get something that's sort of similar to like a Marshall Blues Breaker style overdrive. And then if you flick it to the right, you get the wonderful Keeley take of the Ibanez Tube Screamer. There's some other magic mojo in there as well, which I guess is probably part of the secret Keeley sauce. Keeley is the cook after all, but those are their secret ingredients and we'll let them divulge them as they see fit. On the left side, you're probably thinking, okay, delay, reverb, how is that going to work? Well, this is essentially the wet side of the pedal. You select which wet effect you are using with this toggle switch right in the center that says delay, reverb. In the up position, you are going to have access to delay, and in the down position, you're going to have access to the reverb. We have three knobs that control both effects. You have controls for blend, decay, and time. Now, blend, of course, your wet, dry blend, which is very nice. Decay kind of works the same for the echo and the reverb in that it's going to be your decay time for your reverb and your feedback for the echo. Now, the time knob does change into a tone control when you're using the reverb, so you can get darker and brighter reverb sounds, and then for the delay, it's going to set your delay time. Now, just like the drive side, it also has a two-way toggle switch underneath the knobs labeled vintage and modern. So when you're using an echo, you have more of an analog voiced echo on the vintage side and a nice digital crisp delay on the modern side. When it comes to the reverbs, we have a spring on the vintage mode and a plate on the modern. All in all, that would be enough. We could easily get through it, but there's way more to this pedal than that. On the side of the pedal, we have more options to open up this world to us. We have a switch to turn on and off trails, so if you, like me, like trails because they kind of occur in nature, it's a natural thing, you can go ahead and turn them on and off with a simple switch on the side. And the switch is in the pedal technically, so you'll need something small and thin to turn the switch into the on or off position, but that just means that it's not going to get knocked randomly on the pedal board. The last switch is the TRS insert switch, which previously had been on the inside of the PCBs of Keeley pedals, which would allow you to use TRS breakout cables into the input and output so that you could essentially route one effect to, say, a different banks on a switcher like the GigRig G2 or the Boss ES8, or you can use those as a way to patch in other pedals between the two effects. I'm going to show you how I like to do that towards the end of the video, but for now, we need to hear this thing. Let's start by checking out the overdrive side. We have our guitar, which I think we're going to stick with the Jotun for this. I'm really liking it sounding really good with this particular pedal. We're going to plug into the orange Pedal Baby 100 and into an orange PPC 212 in the other room, mic'd up with a Shure SM57. Now, let's jump into the drive and hear that blues breaker grind. What an amount of gain on that, and very cool, even low, mid, and high. Now let's go ahead and turn the tone knob and see what we can do to get, say, like a nice crisp crunch tone that we can also clean up by turning down the volume on the neck pickup. I'm gonna go ahead and up the gain a little bit, and let's start. Why don't we just start with all knobs right there, around 2 o'clock. What's amazing with this Bluesbreaker style drive on the DDR is that it really takes on like a preamp quality. Like we can use this as sort of our platform for our tone into the pedal baby. This is probably one of the best drives I've heard into the pedal baby. And it cleans up really well too. Now let's go ahead and flick the style switch over to the right for that screamer style overdrive. Feels like it has a little bit more gain than your typical screamer. Maybe there's something not quite tube screamery about this. I honestly don't know. I just am going off of what I hear and what the manual says, and I find that this is just really a little bit more smooth, a little bit can get a little darker, I think. Let's go ahead and turn up the tone knob a little bit. As we check out the delay and reverb on the DDR, I'm going to leave on the breaker style overdrive on the DDR. It's just going to give us a nice little bass line tone to just have a little bit of fun with. So let's check out the spring reverb. Gets me in that Adventures of Pete and Pete Polaris kind of vibe. But since we can make it darker, let's go ahead and make it darker and hear a darker spring tone. Not bad. Not bad. Definitely on the brighter side is where I prefer it, but still a very nice way to tighten up the spring reverb is to make it darker. So all in all, very, very nice. Now let's check out the modern reverb, which is going to be a plate style reverb. Go ahead and give us just a little bit more level. Love a good plate reverb. Let's go ahead and darken it a little bit. Let's try to make it a little bit more washy. Say if we want to go for something kind of in the ambient way of thinking. And just brighten it up a little bit. And let's just turn up the blend all the way and see where we are with that. We can still hear our original attack. So it's not a full 100% wet, which actually is kind of handy. Really nice. Really, really nice. So that's the reverbs. Now let's go back over the vintage mode and click on that delay. So this is going to be more of like an analog style echo. So one of the things I love to do is find a good slapback. So let's go ahead and see if we can achieve that here on the DDR. I think we can. Wow, that was pretty easy to conjure up. What more could you want? Let's go ahead and do a longer delay time, a little bit more decay. You know what? Let's up the gain, make it a little darker because we want to sing and everything. We want some sustain. Not bad. The echo has a little bit of that tape quality to it. It's not quite as dark as maybe some standard analog type delays are, but it's really, really nice. Now let's go ahead and check out the modern mode, which we're gonna have definitely more of that classic digital sound, which is not necessarily a bad thing. So let's go ahead and go for a little bit of a brighter sound here with the drive side, and let's see what we got. That really grabs onto it and really carries us out, and, well, it runs away like hell. Pardon the expression. So that is pretty much all the components of the DDR, and man, the gig ready thing, that's really true. I definitely feel like no matter what your tastes or what you're looking for or whatever kind of situation that you need to use it in, you're gonna find a way to use it and you're gonna be able to get something out of it that you'll enjoy. So in the spirit of that, I'm gonna show you a few different combinations of the different effects on the DDR and the ways that I like to use them. Starting with something into the pedal baby that I use as sort of a foundation to build off of. This particular combination on the DDR I find works really well as the foundation for using the pedal baby as essentially the only amp that I'm going to use on a gig. Bring the pedal baby, speaker cab, the DDR, and a guitar, and I'm good to go. So I have a medium gain crunchy overdrive on the drive side with the breaker overdrive that cleans up really well when you roll back the volume knob. And then I have the plate reverb with not a whole lot of decay, a nice short reverb that just is going to help give a sense of space to the overall guitar sound. Now we've moved over to the Rockerverb 100, and I have this combination dialed up on DDR. The best way I can describe this as this is your blues jam tone. Combine them both together, you get that classic tube screamer boost with just a little bit of grit. You have that nice amp-like spring reverb. If that's not blues jam, then I don't know what is. put the DDR on my personal pedal board and use it with my Rockerverb, this is exactly how I'd use it. The drive is going to give me that super saturation boost, and I have an echo to send things really over the top and carry them out. Now the key here is the TRS insert, so I've turned that switch on, and I have two HOSA Y breakout cables sending a TRS signal into two monos. The drive is going into the front end of the Rockerverb, and the echo is going through the effects loop. Check this out. I think you'll dig it. And there you have it, my friends. That is the brand new DDR Drive, Delay, and Reverb from Keeley. Keeley is just absolutely knocking it out of the park in the last couple years. Since we first started looking at their pedals with the dark side, it just seems to keep getting better. And this definitely feels like they did their homework and they really honed in on a lot of the common effects that guitar players use. I know personally for me, drive and a little bit of reverb or a good echo, that's kind of what I need in order to get through a gig. I've often been asked the question, what would you put on a pedal board if you could only put like 4 or 5 things on? And inevitably, it's always going to be some sort of drive pedal and an echo or a reverb, depending on what exactly I'm going for at that particular gig. And the fact that these are kind of great set and forget pedals is absolutely phenomenal. Of course, couple it with the TRS inserts means I can put it on a switcher, so I can definitely use it with my G2, which I am very excited about. But I'm just really astounded at the way things sound, and that blues breaker style overdrive on this is just absolutely phenomenal. I cannot believe that I like a Marshall Blues Breaker style pedal as much as this one. This one is just absolutely phenomenal. I've honestly just been having fun playing with that. I didn't even get to some of the other stuff when I first got it. It's all in all just a really well thought out, well-tuned pedal that will provide you hours and hours of enjoyment. And what more could you want? So there you have it, the DDR. And I'd love to know what you guys thought of the DDR, not Dance Dance Revolution. But then again, if you did play Dance Dance Revolution, let me know in the comments section below along with your thoughts on the DDR. And don't forget to click the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, come back next week. And until then, my friends, I'm Sean Pierce Johnson, and I wish you all out there great tone and happy stomping. Cheers, everybody.